Hi, guys. Welcome to this week's sound healing recording, which is actually going to be an interview with a friend. Her name is Sanja. She's a sidereal astrologist and does much, much more, but I'm going to let her explain that. Um, and I know quite a few of you will be very interested in the information she's about to share, so I hope you all enjoy. Hi, Sanja.
Hello. It's the
Thank you.
full moon today.
It is a full moon today. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your space with us today.
hmm
Um, Happy full moon. Would you please introduce yourself and let anyone who gets to hear this know a little bit more about you?
Absolutely. So I'm Sonia Rose. I am a sacred brand strategist and alchemist. I've been doing marketing for over 13 years, supporting big brands and startups. I love working with conscious entrepreneurs to help them grow and expand their marketing and their business and their service in the world. And then 4 years ago, I became an astrologer. And initially, I was a Western astrologer, so following the typical tropical astrology system with the 12 signs. And then a year into my astrological journey, I learned about the true sky. I actually looked up at the visible sky with an astronomy app and said, whoa, look at that. Leo's right next to Cancer, which is right next to Virgo, which is right next to Libra, and it all goes in the same order that we've learned, but it's not the same as Western astrology. It's following something different. And this is, often Vedic astrology or sidereal astrology is what it's called. But I call it the true star systems. And that's the name that I've given for it. And I'm a true star systems guide and teacher. And since I've been exploring the actual visible sky and learning to stargaze myself, it's been so profound because you have this deeper level of embodiment that you have with the stars from just communicating directly with the constellations and with the planets and with the sun and with the moon. And it's so profound to really deepen into the truth of what's actually happening in the cosmos, because Western astrology is about 23 degrees off. And then it also oversimplifies the sky. It makes the 12 signs all equal sizes, right? Randomly on the 22nd of every month, apparently the sky moves. That's not how it works. It's actually hilarious that so many people follow that system. And what's actually true is that all the constellations are different sizes, they all take up different space in space. And it's so beautiful to connect to their true size and to actually be able to identify them in the night sky. And it's been such a journey for me. And then there's also the missing 13th sign, or the ninth sign. Actually, it goes in the place of the ninth sign because it's between Scorpio and Sagittarius, which is Ophiuchus Ophiuchus, which is such a powerful sign. So I also read with that in mind, as well as reading the stars above and below the ecliptic at times. So it's a really
Mhm.
powerful journey to connect to the truth of the heavens, and it's given me so much personal empowerment, for myself and my own astrology, but also so much support that I give to my clients as I do integrate it into my marketing work as well.
I love that. Thank you so much. And last time we spoke, I think the most profound thing I heard you say, or what captivated me the most, was just when we look up at the sky, we can actually see which constellation we're in, and it doesn't always align with what Western astrology says the full moons are in. So is the full moon really in Sagittarius right now, or is it in a different sign?
Yeah, so in Western astrology, it says that the full moon's in Gemini. So it says that the sun is in Sag and that the full moon's in Gemini, but it's actually the sun is in Scorpio. The sun is very much in Scorpio. It only just entered the Scorpio stars on the 20th. So we've just been a week of moving through Scorpio. On the 24th is when it became purely Scorpio season, because before the 24th, it was mixing with the Libra stars. So there's lots of like blending and cuspy regions that are also to be considered, because it's not always strictly this season starts and this season ends. Sometimes it's both of them at once, which is really cool. So we just ended that Libra cusp region and we just entered pure Scorpio season. So today's full moon is actually in Taurus. It's in the heart of Taurus, right next to the Pleiades. Um, it's it's so profound to connect to this part of the cosmos. The Pleiades has a very ancient tradition with many indigenous cultures, as it being the origin point where many of them came from and descended from, the hole in the sky, which is the Pleiades. So to connect to this energy of Taurus today and the Pleiades is really profound.
Wow. Wow. I could go in so many different directions. I have so many questions for you. Um, what makes sidereal astrology the most different from Western astrology?
Well, it's different because it's true. And so just sidereal astrology on its own isn't correct, isn't fully accurate, because sidereal astrology still only takes into account the 12 astrological signs and then it makes them all equal sizes. So it's actually called true sidereal astrology. That's like the most accurate form of astrology. But again, I just recommend looking at the actual visible sky and using astronomy. So I use astronomy apps to do readings a lot of the time, especially when I'm doing group collective readings. So I'll actually take pictures of the sky. Like I just did this because I do this moon marketing session every single full moon for people with sacred brands. And I do this full reading of what's happening the next month. So I just did this December cosmic transits and reading. And then I look at the full moon, and the full moon was visible right beside Taurus, or right inside of Taurus, right beside the Pleiades. So it's really, really cool because once you learn how to look at the visible sky, you can see that. Like I could see the two horns of the bull just to the left of the full moon last night when I was looking at it. You couldn't see the Pleiades because the moon was so bright that it was like you could with a telescope, but the moon was so bright it was obscuring them. And I was in a city, so I couldn't see it too well. But yeah.
Wow. And what is currently happening with this full moon?
So with the Taurus energy, especially opposing the Scorpio sun, it's a really profound time to deepen into your own personal truth and to embody a next layer of yourself. So there's this level of excavation and deep diving that we've been doing, this deep level of emotion, this deeper level of healing that we've been present to over the last week in Scorpio season. And now that the Taurus full moon is here, we're actually embodying ourselves in this new way. It's like coming home to yourself, but who you're coming home to is like this expanded version of yourself that you actually get to share with the world. And it feels very embodied. It feels very grounded. It feels very reliable. So you're present, you're here, you're able to share yourself. And it's because we've been doing all this deep work. And then from that deep work, we get to share our true selves with the world. I also said for those of us in sacred business, that it's really this moment to embody this next level of your own prosperity and money, because Taurus rules money and prosperity and value and worth. And it's like this coming into this new level of your own worth and this next level
Mm.
of your own, of the prosperity that you create for yourself in all forms, in forms of money, relationships, connections, abundance given to you in forms of gifts and herbs and whatever else you receive. I receive herbs often. um
Amazing.
Yeah. So it's abundance. It's a personal abundance and personal embodiment full moon where you get to really become who you truly are. And then since it's right next to the Pleiades as well, the Pleiades are the seven star sisters, and then it's actually right between the Pleiades and the Hyades, which are the twin sisters of the Pleiades. So it's about sisterhood. It's about connecting to the women and the sisters in your life, like we're doing right now, and letting them expand you, letting that connection that you have with other women be expansive for you, be a place where you get to walk into that prosperity for yourself through those connections. So from here on out, you're going to probably see that different women in your life, the circles that you have, the sisters that you have in your life, are actually the ones that are helping you and supporting you into walking as this full version of yourself as you step into like this next season of life. Mhm.
Wow, that couldn't have been truer and more relevant. 5 minutes before we hopped on this call, I just made a new crystal grid because of the full moon today, and the stones that were jumping out the most were citrine, abundance, and pyrite. A lot of like money themes were coming up. And
Mhm,
then
mhm.
everything you're saying around sisterhood is so relevant. Thank you. And Taurus is more of a nurturing energy too, right? There's more feminine
Yeah,
aspects too.
yeah, Taurus is like the one that'll give you like a pillow and a blanket and a warm meal and like wants to be there for you and wants to like refer clients to you and make sure that you're well, right? It represents the cow. It represents like the bull, yes, but really the cow, and the cow is the most sacred animal in the East, and it is the animal that nourishes us. For those of us that eat beef, for those of us that eat dairy, for those of us, like, you can use all parts of the cow. It's so profound how nourishing it is. So yeah, it is a very nurturing, nourishing sign for sure.
Thank you so much. I know we kind of touched on this, but would you mind um, explaining a little bit more about the new zodiac sign, how it was incorporated, and
Mm.
maybe what it stands for, where it is? Ophius, how do you say it?
Ophiuchus.
Ophiuchus. Okay.
Yeah, or it's called Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus, Ophiuchus. I kind of go between the two. Or Ophiuchus, even. There's several ways to say it. So Ophiuchus represents the Greek myth is so before I go into the Greek myth, I will say that this sign was occulted and it was hidden and it was shrouded in mystery and secrets, but it is included in the Dendera horoscope on the sky, on the ceiling, in Dendera Temple in Egypt. And so it has been a part of like ancient
Wow.
astrology for a while and different occult trainings, but it has been hidden from the greater public for some time until back in 2011. Um, in 2017, NASA was like, hey, there's a missing 13th sign of the zodiac. Like, astrologers are all wrong. Like, they need to be focusing on it, etc. So it is between Scorpio. It actually blends with Scorpio quite a bit, actually, and Sagittarius. So by the time that it ends, Sagittarius begins. And
So it's
then,
coming up.
yeah, it's coming up. It's starting on the 29th, actually. We start to dance with the stars.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Okay. Wow.
So we dance with the stars of Ophiuchus from the 29th until December 19th. And then on the 20th of December is when Sagittarius season starts. And it dances with the stars of Scorpio until the 6th of December. And then on December 6th is when it's pure Ophiuchus season. So it's just Ophiuchus stars that we're moving with. And Ophiuchus represents, the reason why I say dance is it is the serpent dancer. It is the one that dances with the snake and sheds their skin and is able to literally, through music, through dance, through the transmutation that is art and artistry and physical movement, to heal themselves, to heal the others. And so, and it also is representative of the master healer. The Greek myth is that there was Asclepius, who was this the son of Apollo, and he was trained by Chiron to be a healer, and he became like the first physician and the most powerful healer on the planet. And he had 7 children, and they were all healers as well. And he taught them how to be healers. And it was so profound because eventually they were such a powerful healer that they could actually resurrect the dead. And so once they started resurrecting the dead is when the Fates and Hades, like god of the underworld, became really angry about it, and they asked for them to be killed. And so they were killed. And Zeus killed Asclepius, and then it became a constellation in the sky. And Ophiuchus is the term for Asclepius. Asclepius is just the term in Greek. So it represents master healing abilities, like healing abilities that we haven't even yet tapped into, but that is available within this sign. And people with this sun sign, like, one of the greatest healers I know is an Ophiuchus sun, and that doesn't surprise me at all. She was a naturopathic healer. She became like an energy healer. She can do a lot. She's like an angelic channel, just really powerful Ophiuchus being. And then also for a lot of the Ophiuchuses I know, they're like mysterious. They're mysterious. There's a mystery around them because there's a mystery around this sign, but there's also like this mystery around how how deep they are, like their level of depth, their level of artistry, their level of artistic expression is they're not always artists, but they are often very creative with the way that they view the world. And they really open up your mind when you talk to them and when you communicate them, when you're in relationship to them. And during this season, when we go into a ficus season on the 29th of November, it will be a really powerful time to deepen into our own creativity and deepen into our own healing gifts and to deeply heal ourselves in a way that we haven't yet. So Scorpio is like we excavate, we go into the underworld, we really go and be with the depths of us. And then during a ficus season is when we dance with it, transmute it, heal it. And then Sag season, we just get to celebrate the heck out of what we did.
I wish people could have seen the actions you just did to go along with each of these signs. Like that was so beautiful.
That's my
We
my
painted a
energy work.
yeah,
Mhm.
like a visual of the deep dive and paint it out. Oh, I love that so much. Didn't you say something about its energy being more androgynous too, or is it more a masculine energy,
Mhm.
feminine energy?
So it was a man in the myth, but I consider it being like a woman. I consider it being a man. I consider it being like an androgynous, non-binary being because it is the healer. It is whatever you need it to be. And so it
Mm.
represents like all aspects, all elements, and especially with the serpent, like it has all of these multiple skins and layers that it can show you. So when it needs to be a woman, it is. When it needs to be a man, it is. When it needs to be non-binary, it is. So that's at least my experience now that I've had 3 years of really sitting with Ophiuchus season. So this is my fourth season going into it, and it's very exciting.
Wow. Wow. I see the number four a lot right now. That's another
Yeah.
conversation, but sounds like you're really grounding into this. It's wow. Just hearing you talk about it, I feel like it's just downloading through my body. You're so fluid and um,
Mm.
very
Thank you.
transparent about the energy. Another question for you. There is an upcoming Mercury retrograde on the 13th.
Mhm.
Does that still play into effect? How do you see Mercury retrogrades? I know a lot of people go like, Mercury retrograde's coming and kind of get scared. I know some people thrive. I had a partner who absolutely thrived during Mercury retrograde, but always find like the next career path. Um, how do you see it kind of affecting us cosmically, physically?
Yeah, so retrograde periods are a divine gift. It's not something to be feared, but it is something to be aware of because they do have an impact. And so the planet isn't actually moving backwards, but it appears to be moving backwards. So whenever we have this moment, it's like we're not moving backwards, we're not stagnating, we're not unable to communicate during the Mercury retrograde period. We actually just need to have this moment of stillness to review, to reflect, to reconsider. So and especially because this Mercury retrograde, Mercury is going to be in Sagittarius, and Mercury is currently in Ophiuchus, which is very cool. That's how I'm communicating right now is through that Ophiuchus
Wow.
panel. And it's right next to the galactic center, so it's right next to a black hole. So there's just lots of information coming in and out. Right, information comes
Truth.
into a black hole and then back out in like a non-defined way. And so Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius is going to be a powerful time to reflect on the way that we even communicate, what it is that we say, and where it is that we need to go in the world. So people might be having clarity on like where they need to go on their next vacation, where they need to host retreats, where they maybe need to host in-person events if they do that in their businesses, or where they just need to be in the world, where they're being drawn to. And then also it's a really powerful time to think about the way that you think. It's not as heady as a Gemini Mercury retrograde would be, but it's still a time to review your own self-talk, your own self cognition, like how you think about yourself, what it is that you're thinking about, and then really start to share more of what's really within you to share. I just did, like I said, that reading that I did inside of Moon Marketing. um, was all about there is a new truth for us to share and it's time for us to share it. And during the Mercury retrograde is when that will become really clear. Like we'll have time to sit with and review, like, okay, what is mine to teach? What is mine to communicate? What is mine to say? Where do I need to go in order to fully be able to access that? And what's next for me in terms of like expansion, exploration, and um,
Would you
expression.
recommend starting anything new? I hear a lot about not starting any new projects during a Mercury retrograde. Do you
Well, it's
believe
more
in
so
those
that
things?
time period of like review and reevaluation, and especially since it will be the end of the Gregorian year and also the start of solstice season. So it's a new season. It's winter solstice up here, it's summer solstice in the south. Um, so it's a week before the winter solstice, and so it's a really great time to not start stuff new, but to actually review your year and to review what you've done so far, and then from that space, like really have this kind of recalibration as you go into the new year, with like
No.
having just time period to like really review, reconsider, and reevaluate what it is that you want. So it's a really great time to celebrate everything that you've done rather than trying to do more.
What perfect timing too, because doesn't it end on January 1st or something too? It's like,
Yeah, I think it ends on the 2nd of January. Hmm.
wow.
Yeah. Hmm.
Wow. Divine alignment.
Cosmic timing and divine alignment never ceases to amaze me. I just did the whole December reading, which I will have up on YouTube in a couple weeks, but I have it in the space for everyone that's inside of the Liberated Woman Vortex, which is this space that I do my moon marketing sessions inside of. And oh my gosh, the December alignments were just freaky. Like the level of alignment that was present right before we would go into a major holiday, like all of the Jewish holidays are all aligned to celestial events. And it's so much fun to witness that. Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. That sounds like the most interesting movie to watch, or
Yeah.
fascinating real life um, events. I would love to ask where people can contact you or maybe see some of those videos or find out more about you. Um,
Hmm.
we have a website,
Absolutely.
channel.
So the best way to get a hold of me is through Instagram. So I'm at Sanja on Instagram. I also have a True Star Systems page, true.star.systems. And then my branding page is Shakti Brand. My website is sanjarose.com. It's spelled SanjaRose.com. You can find my Instagram there. You can find my YouTube channel there, my podcast there, my services. I do still have to add all of my online services that I have because I do them all through Teachable. I have various courses that I have available that I can speak to. And then there's also the Liberated Woman Vortex, which has moon marketing, where I talk about the full moon energy in depth. And I do that as a live stream in our Facebook group. So you can join that as well. And it's on discount actually today. I'm not sure if this will go out today, but
Yes.
yes, so it's on
Definitely.
discount until midnight tonight, and I have a couple of discounts for myself as well going out today, so I can speak to those. But you can find that in my Instagram link. You can find Moon Marketing, Liberated Woman Vortex, and it's on discount right now. So if you'd like to really dive into this full moon energy and get a lot of support as a sacred feminine entrepreneur, it's the space for you.
Amazing. And how long do you feel the full moon energy lingers? Like a day or two? Or I know it's probably the most profound right now, but
Yeah, so it's definitely like the day of, but I notice it like a few days before and a few days after as well. Like it started to affect me over the weekend, before this
Mhm.
happened. So yeah, a few days before and after. And yeah.
So then, just so nobody feels like they're missing out if they do hear this tomorrow, but it will be uploaded this afternoon. I like to put something out on the full moon or new moon. Um, Sonia, thank you so much. I'll also include links to everything you sent. I'll double check the spelling before we get off here. But is there anything you'd like to add or anything you feel is important for people to know that maybe we didn't touch on or share?
Yeah, so a big part of what it is that I teach and do is the fact that the cosmos have a profound impact of your own self-understanding, self-acceptance, and understanding of yourself as a leader and your energetics. And then that's also true for your business because all businesses typically have a birthday, a day when they started, and understanding the energetics and the astrology of your own business is really profound. And in my new program, Miracle Marketing, we're going to be doing that in December. So on December 11th, I believe it is, on the Monday, let me just double check that. Yeah, on Monday, December 11th, we're going to be having this cosmic marketing call where you get to connect to the star power of yourself as a leader and also of your brand. And that's inside of my Miracle Marketing membership, which is really supportive to entrepreneurs and leaders who want support with their marketing, that don't want to do their marketing alone anymore. They want support with their graphics and their design and we also have a healing call that happens every month with coaching, and then a healing session with my multidimensional healer. Because, oh my gosh, when we do business, there's a lot of trauma that happens from not having sales, from not having enough money, from putting ourselves out there, from feeling all those worthiness wounds, from what do I express next? Who am I? How do I support myself? Who am I here to serve? Etc. All those things that come up, I am here to support you in that. Like I said before, I've had 13 years of marketing experience, 6 years of being a business owner myself and supporting other business owners, and then 4 years of astrology. And so I blend them all together. So my Miracle Marketing membership is actually on discount for the first month right now. So up until midnight tonight, it's also available. So I'll give you the link to that. If you use the code Magic Days 55, Magic Days 55, you'll be able to get that 55% off discount. And that's the best way to be supported by me. And you also get that amazing cosmic marketing training on December 11th, which will be so profound. Like, I cannot, that's really a part of my signature process, is to first help people understand their cosmic self leadership and then their businesses. And then when you know that, it's like the floodgates open and there's just so much more that happens in your business. So, yeah, I'm really here to serve business owners and leaders and community leaders and creators. And I'm really grateful that I could speak to your audience about the magic of the truth today.
Me too. Me too. And I hope that this resonates with many people. And yeah, I can just feel you're so in alignment and living your passion, doing what you're passionate about and what you're purposely about. Like, you just speak so clearly. It's really amazing. Sanja, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and your space today. And yeah, I hope we get to do this again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Have a wonderful full moon, everybody.
Thank you.